All right, back to the respiratory system. Let's talk about the difference in external, internal, and cellular respiration. External respiration is the act of taking air in and out, or the physical exchange of air between the ambient air and your body. Internal respiration would be when the air moves from the alveoli into the bloodstream. And cellular respiration is that whole biology concept that you learned when oxygen and glucose actually combine to form energy in the form of ATP. So, three types of movement of oxygen per se: external, breathing in and out; internal, gas exchange between the alveoli and the bloodstream; and cellular respiration is the actual use of the oxygen once it arrives in the cell. We also produce sound. Your vocal cords vibrate back and forth, kind of bump up against each other, and produce sound. We can only produce sound when we exhale. So if you want to try it, everybody inhale and try to speak. You can't do it. Um, we also can only make different pitches with our vocal cords. It's our mouth and our tongue and our teeth and all those facial movements that actually contribute to speech and forming different words and sounds. So, one breath is an inspiration or inhalation, and one expiration or exhalation. So, that's one breath. The normal adult respiratory rate is somewhere between 14 to 20. We know that normal things such as exercise can increase our respiratory rate, any type of emotions, and any sort of disease process. So, what happens is your diaphragm contracts. When your diaphragm contracts, it increases the space in the thoracic cavity. When we do that, we kind of suck air in. So, breathing is actually a process of the diaphragm contracting. We decrease the pressure in the thoracic cavity, therefore, air rushes into the lungs. When the diaphragm relaxes, air rushes out of the lungs. The same thing with pulse, age, and respiratory rate have an inverse relationship. The younger you are, the faster you breathe. Little tiny babies, when they're born, can breathe somewhere between 40 to 60 times a minute, and it'd be absolutely acceptable. If you were breathing 60 times a minute, we would be quite concerned for you. A cough is actually the reason we cough is to forcibly exhale air from our airways and move anything out of our airways that does not belong. A hiccup is actually a diaphragm spasm. So it's your muscle spasming. When your muscle spasms, it moves air through your vocal cords and makes that little cute squeaky sound. Sneezing, that's how we get excess mucus and debris out of our nasal passages. And yawning, there's lots of different reasons that people think we yawn, but we do know that when you yawn, you take in twice as much air, therefore increasing the amount of oxygen that we're getting to our tissues. How we breathe. Your medulla oblongata, and I bet you know that it's in the middle of your brain because it's MED. Your medulla, or the middle portion of your brainstem, is actually responsible for your respiratory rate. If you have a damaged brainstem, you will not be able to breathe. All right. That is it for this video, and we'll get back to chemicals that make us breathe.